Hey guys, how's it going? Ghostly Rich here today, and today we're going to be changing the oil on this Mitsubishi Rvr. First off, I have it on some ramps today. I'm going to show you how you would go ahead and throw it up on a jack and jack stands if you so wish. So you can see right there, you have your pinch weld, which goes all the way down there. You can jack it up there and put your jack stand there. I don't like to do that just because it's a thinner piece of metal. You see right there, there's a piece of metal on each side, which is your main frame. You can jack it up there and then put just the jack stand under the main frame and then jack it up right there if you so wish. Once you've jacked up your vehicle and you have the parking brake on, if you want to and you want to be more careful, you could throw a couple pieces of lumber behind the rear tire so that way it won't roll back. But this is an automatic and it also has the parking brake on, so we're all good. So first thing you're going to want is a number 17, and this right here, this bolt is your oil drain nut. So you're going to go ahead and release this, unscrew, take it off. If you've been driving it for a while, it's going to be warm, so put on a glove. So when you're lining up your bucket, if you take a look, you basically want to have it like this, because when this originally starts coming out with the oil, it's going to come out like this. And if you want something tall, this is an old kitty litter bucket. So we're gonna go ahead and release it now, and then with an extension we'll pull it out. If it falls inside, whatever, we'll pull it out of the oil afterwards. If you have a magnet, it makes it way easier. So let's go ahead and remove this bolt once again, which is number 17. So you can barely see it, but there's a stream going on right here. We're gonna let that continue draining. And while that does that, there is your oil filter. So we want to grab this and give it a twist like that, giving it the good old monkey grip if you can do that. And then once you do that, broke it loose. I'm going to leave it for a second now that I've broken loose the pressure, because what can happen is sometimes some of the oil is still sitting up there as it's draining and you want it to drain back into the canister and stay here. Now the other thing we're going to want to do is I'm going to let this drain out, and then I'm going to seal that up for when I pull this off. Because if I don't, well, then I need 2 buckets and I get 2 buckets dirty. That's the lazy point. So we're at a pretty slow drip now. Literally hasn't dripped. So there, oh, finally. So at this point, we're going to hand thread it in. Very important. If you want to, you can replace the washer on this. A lot of people won't, including myself, unless for some reason you have a feeling it's leaking. If you do have a feeling it's leaking, go ahead and replace it. A lot of places will just replace the entire plug nut or bolt, whatever. And then give it a nice tighten like that. Do not go He-Man, just that much. If you start double handing that and wrenching on it, you'll strip your drain plug, and then you get to pull out all these bolts and drop out the pan and put a new one in. Not any fun. Next thing, we move our bucket right here and we start to loosen this up. Now as we loosen this, see that? That can happen. So what we're going to do is let it drain out. We're going to loosen it, let it drain again, loosen it, let it drain again, and then we're going to take that out. So that's our old Mopar one. We're going to put in a Fram full synthetic now that we have that one out. So go ahead and screw this one on. Now something I always like to say you should do is take a little bit of oil and or the used oil from your bucket and just smear a little bit on the rim here. Helps make a better contact and helps make sure that this doesn't rub up against anything, keeps the gasket nice, blah, 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 blah. Now, after you go ahead and do that, another thing to always check is make sure the other gasket is on this one. If this one ever sticks, you need to take this off or use a scraper and get it off. You need to check for it because some people don't, and this gasket stays on, and what ends up happening is you get a double gasket and it'll actually leak, which isn't good. So gasket's off, gasket's on here, which is good. We're gonna go ahead, rub a little bit on the rim, and then go ahead and tighten it up. Only tighten this by hand. Never use a filter wrench to tighten these on, because one, you could crush the canister or strip this out. You should be able to take it on and off by hand, but again, with a good grip. Next, you're gonna need a jug of oil. This one takes 4.9 quarts. This is a 5-liter jug. We're gonna put in about 4 liters and then top it up accordingly. If you're wondering about quarts, you can see it's on the side here. Quarts as per liter. So as you can see, 4 quarts right there. You could start at 3.5 or 4. I'm gonna probably throw 4 in here. Nature of the beast with this one, just hold your funnel up like this and pour nice and slowly, because if it starts glucking down there, what's gonna end up happening is it'll just pour all over the head, and you won't like that, because that's a lot of cleanup. So hold it like this and pour slowly. I pulled out the stick already and wiped it. Let's see where we're at. As you can see, we are currently at the full line right there. And what we're gonna do next is we're gonna start the vehicle, which is gonna drop the value down a little bit. And also when we back it off the ramp. So the next thing we're gonna do is put the stick back in. We're gonna put the plug back in, or right here. Next thing we're gonna do is back this up off the ramp, and then the oil filter is going to refill with oil. We'll recheck the stick, add until we're just below. I usually like to stay a quarter below the full line, so that way you never go over, because believe it or not, it's way worse to overfill than to underfill. And the reason why is if you overfill these engines, especially with synthetic, it can create a foam, and then it can start seal problems, sensor problems, tons of other things. Do not overfill. As you can see, all I did is I pulled it off the ramps, and I can see where it's at. See, it's right there, which tells me it's just got enough to be okay, which isn't good enough. I'm going to fill that up a little bit more, and like I said, I want the dipstick. I'm gonna actually bring my thumb to where I like to fill it. Right about there. See how it's just a little higher? You do not want it to pass that open hole right here. So go ahead and top it up. If you can see, I'm just under that hole right there, so we're all good. Oil cap is screwed in, dipstick is in, and we know where it's at, and we have no trace of oil. You can go ahead and check under the vehicle if you want. If you want, another good thing to do is in the next 50 kilometers to 100 kilometers or 60 miles to 30 miles, just double check, make sure everything's good, but you should be fine. Thanks again for watching. Press like if it helped you out. Subscribe for more.